To water.
Welcome friends, Savi here, and it's time for the newest Kirby's Dreamcast. That's not our usual intro, is it? All jokes aside, hello everyone, I'm Savi and welcome back to the Founder of Dreams podcast. And as you've seen by this intro, this episode is going to be a little bit strange because as always, I'm joined by the wonderful other two hosts of the channel, Sonico.
Yo, what up?
And DExus.
Hello there, my friends. Hello there.
But today, as we do in certain episodes, we will be joined by the host of the only other Kirby podcast on YouTube. So, everybody with a warm applause, please introduce today's guest, LostScarf. Hello, Scarf. How are you doing today?
Yippee! Hello there. I'm alive, and that's all that matters.
Yo,
So true.
The guy from Kirby's Dreamcast.
Oh my god, Sonic
He is.
reference.
Here.
The guy from the podcast that can be found everywhere podcasts are hosted on and on YouTube. The advantage of YouTube being that he can put the footage of what he's talking about on screen. The YouTube site is especially worth looking at when they do the gaming episodes. Like today.
Oh my god, he's doing it. Alright. Yeah, it was a mistake to put it on YouTube with footage, because it could be so much faster if I only did audio. Like, the gaming episodes take a lot of time.
Yeah, trust.
Oh no.
Because with those, it's a story. So I describe everything I'm doing in the gameplay too. It's like, and then Kirby struggled with Bonkers for like 2 seconds because Bonkers is trash. And just keep going with that.
Jesus.
I just tell the whole thing as a story. I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then I put the arena in there as canon because screw it. Everyone decided to recreate their battles for Kirby because everyone loves Kirby and they're afraid of him murdering them. So they just go along with it.
I have had a friend explaining the arenas in canon, like, or making up the idea for it being in canon by just having them be like just the way that Dreamland celebrates festivals and stuff. Like, oh yeah, it's just the annual fighting competition.
No.
Like it
Kirby
needs to be
Battle
canon
Royale, let's
now.
go.
After Forgotten Land, it needs to be canon
Land.
because I need Elfless becoming whole to be canon, basically.
Yeah.
Forgotten Land
That
is probably the
final
only
fight
one
is
that is
amazing.
canon.
It feels like it. It has to be just because Elflin.
But Scarf, before we move on, I think it would be the best to first and foremost introduce actually your content, what you do in your channel, so then we can do a deep dive towards the other silly arguments and shenanigans. So for everybody watching here at home, who are you? Like, quickly introduce what you mainly do on your channel, if possible, please. Thank you.
Too much. Too damn much. Alright, so I've been around for 10 years, so I do too much. There is a just basic YouTube channel, which is just LostScarf and Friends, which is LPs and voice LPs and recommendation videos, and Kirby's in there too, because every new game's going to be on there. So Return to Dreamland's on there, Forgotten Land's on there, and then I have like a side channel for just all the random stuff I play, so that's Scarf Plays. So like Elden Ring's on there because that's too damn big to put on a main channel. And then I have the Kirby's Dreamcast podcast, which also has a YouTube channel. And that podcast was made 5 years ago as of 6 days ago. And that one's going to be like the Kirby Compendium is the best way to put it. It's going to have everything ever about Kirby in there. So it's covering every anime, every manga, every light novel, every game, everything. Because it also has like the history behind the game. So the history of HAL's in there too. And eventually it'll have like a look at Sakura and a look at Kumazaki. The weird one's going to be...
Shimamura.
Oh my god, I forgot his name. Dead. Yeah. Whatever his name is, they got a chance and then it didn't work out. Like during the experimental Kirby age before Kumazaki showed up.
The flagship era?
Before we were born.
The Capcom motherfuckers.
No. So you got Sakurai, Shimamura, and then Guy, and then Kumazaki. Who's that guy's name?
guy.
Actually,
He's just the guy. It's
you know,
him.
I forget his name right
I
now.
never thought about it. Like, no one talks
I
about.
think he's Mass Attack.
Yeah, I don't.
Or Squeak Squad is him, I think.
Yeah, like no one talks about the directors of the flagship era. They just say flagship.
Like, so yeah, eventually the podcast is just gonna be, you want to know everything, it's there. And I put my opinion in certain spots, but try to be everything's in there, so. That's
You'll basically be like
podcast, and
the
then-
Kirby guy, like the actual Kirby guy on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the end goal, is I'm the Kirby guy. And competition obviously is Ant Dude, which I don't know why he's the competition. The real competition is Failboat. Failboat is my favorite
now
Kirby
he
guy.
is.
Real competition
Oh, yeah.
is like Pikachu. That motherfucker has like too much knowledge.
Pikachu's great. I like Pikachu.
We should.
But I
we should
mean-
put you two in a fight. Like who would win?
Oh my
it?
God.
Like,
No,
not an
they'll
actual,
win. They'll
not,
win.
Not a brawl. Not a brawl.
Cage
but,
fight,
you know,
let's
like,
go.
Oh my god.
No, like you know, like a quiz or something. Like who has the most Kirby knowledge?
They'll
we will
win
be
because I'm
putting-
starting over from the bottom up, so there's certain games I don't remember anymore.
Oh,
We will be testing
But-
a little bit of the knowledge today because I feel there can be a lot of discussions today that like talk about like the more obscure parts of Kirby media because you have like
there's
so,
some
as
fun
you
stuff.
yourself have said there's a ton of stuff like that we still have to cover here in the channel because most of the time we bitch about not liking games and having bad opinions. Last time we kind of sort of dove a little bit deeper talking about the manga that like everybody kind of sort of forgot about. So today I think we'll be talking about a lot of the more obscure stuff like the light novels that I still have to read, which look pretty much interesting. I
Yeah, we
mean,
can
the
talk
average
about everything.
the average Kirby fan probably doesn't know about like what the light novels contain. Like they say, okay, yeah, they exist, but I don't think like the
That's
average
me.
Kirby fan like actually read them.
You've got Meta
Yeah, I
Knight
just-
versus Morpho Knight in there, which is amazing.
Yo, really?
Yeah,
yeah. There's a whole book about that.
there's some epic stuff in there. It is incredible. Although I think my favorite is Dreamy Gear Kirby because that's the steampunk Kirby, or Gearpunk Kirby, which is pretty fun.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
It came from that. I thought it was just like a line of merch.
It
No,
was
it
a line
ca-
of
it
merch,
came
and then
from
they
the
did a
merch.
book, which I'm so happy they made a book eventually because we got to explore that universe more.
Okay,
And in
so
that one,
Glad
it's
they're making.
Scarf, I don't know if you're the person that can answer this, but why is like every type of Kirby like merch line or like books line poo poo poo? What does poo 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 mean?
that's just the
Dreamland, it means
Japanese name of
Dreamland.
Dreamland. Yeah,
That's Dreamland?
I forget what poo poo
Yeah.
literally
Yeah, that's-
means, but it's Dreamland. It's just what they call Dreamland. Someone went, poo poo sounds not the best, so let's change it to Dreamland. That's what happened because it's just the whole joke of D, po, and then poo poo, like just triples of everything.
Also, Lolo and Lala, like that's like so fucking stupid. I love this series.
Falalo and Folala are my favorite. I love those
Fololo.
two. So
Falala.
yeah, and then they become.
Oh my God,
they become Lola.
Wasn't it Fofa?
Yeah, Fofa. I got it wrong. Yeah, it is Fofa. They become Fofa,
I was
which
I was
is
obsessed with that as a kid.
yeah. They can just do a fusion dance. They become Fofa.
Which is so interesting because like where did they pull that from? Because Lolo and Lala, or well, like Lolo and Lala come from their original series, like Adventures of Lolo, and so like the fact that they're like
Yeah.
more known as Kirby characters now rather than Lolo characters, when Lolo has like 3 games on NES, a bunch on Game Boy, and even a few for PC, so like it was relatively big before Kirby just took his place, which is like so interesting to me. It's like what could have been if Kirby failed. Would we get a Popopo return to Popopo Land? No, Popopo
No.
Lolo
Like he is.
return to
I
Yeah,
think-
he
Popopo
is the Hellboy. Yeah.
No, Hal would have
Kirby's return
probably.
to Eggerland.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
think Hal would just straight up die, TBH, because wasn't like.
Like
Damn.
Yeah, no, Dreamland was like their like last ditch effort, and like even after that they were like kinda in the red. If it wasn't for Nintendo.
yeah, if you want the history, just plugging. Watch the first episode, the Kirby's Dreamland episode. But the short one is Hal got a little too ahead of themselves with Metal Slater Glory. They put a lot of money into that game, and it put them deep into was it 6 billion? No, maybe 2 billion.
Oh.
but
Jesus
they got
Christ.
real deep. This is yen, so monopoly money, but really deep into debt. And then Nintendo liked HAL, so Nintendo saved them, and then you have Iwata going like, all right, we're gonna pay back $250 million a year, and our only shot is Kirby. Kirby saves HAL.
And they
Like,
become besties.
Kirby
go.
saves the
And
day.
then HAL and Nintendo become besties.
And then
Yeah,
Nintendo
like-
didn't do the same for Alpha Dream many years later.
Because Iwata was just
think-
too
yeah.
amazing. Like,
Yeah,
Iwata's
Iwata was,
too
like-
important.
A cornerstone in Nintendo history thing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think that Nintendo will ever be the same as it was with Iwata. I know this will sound like I'm an old man saying, it was better in my day, but
Aren't you like two?
really, what a fuck you. But what Iwata did for like the company was like, he saved so many games. He saved Pokemon. He helped a lot with the development of Earthbound. He's like just completely
saved
was one
Earthbound.
of the pillars for the Super Smash Bros. Series. So I think like a lot of people just completely forgot about like how important Iwata is to the series that we have today.
Yeah, because HAL back in the day was just 4 dudes. It was just 4 dudes. It was 3 dudes and a student. Iwata was that student. So he was like an
Yeah, I was
intern,
gonna-
and then he officially joined. So he doesn't count as a founder, but he also is a founder. And the reason why Kirby is everywhere is because of who HAL is. So HAL is very much Kirby in that HAL likes everything. Because HAL is enthusiastic about gaming. So like, oh, we really want to make a pinball game. We really want to make a tennis game. They just want to make everything. So
Yeah.
they were perfect for Kirby, because then Kirby does everything. So that's why you get Pinball Kirby, you get Breakaway Kirby, you get Dream Buffet. You get all these random ideas with Kirby because HAL has always been so eclectic.
Kirby's like
Yeah.
the most adaptable character out there. Like even as like from a design standpoint, I've like gone into great lengths. Fellas, check out either the Dream Buffet video or the Kirby designs video. But I've like talked about how simple and like simple to understand and to grasp Kirby is. But I feel like, as you said, Scarf, Kirby is been so successful because how simple and adaptable he is in any situation. They're like so easy to understand. They like you can put them in like a first-person shooter and people wouldn't care. It's Kirby. I'm gonna buy Kirby.
I mean,
I'm
Kirby
gonna
was
consume
gonna be in Fortnite apparently.
Oh my
That's
god.
like still a rumor. Yeah,
no,
but
no.
like with
He
the
wasn't going to be in
Epic
Fortnite,
background-
but in 2 different, completely separate ways, Fortnite and Kirby accidentally got mixed. So first, it was that in a Kirby
trailer?
Extra Epic Yarn wallpaper for my Nintendo, at the top it said Fortnite, the
Yeah.
Fortnite logo, and the
It's
other
a
one is
Oh
that
yeah, right.
in a Fortnite trailer, I think it was for like custom content or something like that. There was like a screen
It was like
with
for
a
a big
video.
party like event.
Yeah, and at the top it was like a Kirby doing a default dance, which
The thing that I love about that is
Oh,
that
yeah.
it wasn't like even like a custom animation. It was like from that fucking stupid shitty shit post like every Smash Bros character doing the default dance. It was like from that
Yeah.
video.
yeah, I mean that's why we know it was an accident. It wasn't like supposed to be. You didn't notice, but that does
The
mean
hitbox
I
on
don't
Kirby
care.
would be broken.
Kirby,
Kirby would
did
be in
appear.
Fortnite.
Kirby did appear in a PlayStation thing at some point.
Huh?
Yeah, because that trailer was in the PlayStation channel.
Oh, I thought you were talking
that's
like a
fine.
completely different thing.
No.
Like, this game, an ex-Cal developer worked
mean,
on
like-
it and hit a Kirby.
It's
Like, his
pretty
only cameos
interesting how
are-
developers. Oh, please go ahead, Scarf.
No, just saying his only cameos are like Arcana, where he's just randomly in the Demon Army, which is hilarious. Or he's of course he's not Kirby in what's it called? One of the
Link's
Zelda
Awakening.
games. What was it called right now?
Link's
Yeah, Link's Awakening.
Awakening.
There we go.
Anti-Kirby.
Anti-Kirby.
Which is hilarious.
There's
They even
the
use.
debug menu in Earthbound.
Yeah.
There's a Kirby spray in like I think the files of one of the maybe the Mutant Ninja Turtles game or something like that. They're, like hidden in the files, so it's just a little
What?
Kirby, like random.
cool.
Yeah, I'm not making this up. Like I'll put like an editor's note, like let you know after the episode because I will not research it right now. But something that I think was like pretty interesting was that they're like I would love to see. We talk about this in many other episodes, but getting other developers into the Kirby series because Kid Kirby, like there's recently been a video by Did You Know Gaming, link somewhere in the description,
Did you know?
where they've talked about
It's freaking insane.
Super Mario Brothers 2 was actually don't know. We've like made this joke like 10 times, but now there's like mock-ups and interviews. It's so interesting to me talking about something that we've not really talked about during the podcast. The Kirby games that never were. We've talked about the Kirby 64 beta, we talked about different developers, but we never like got fully deep into Kirby GCN, Kirby.
Let me tell you about this little game called
Specialty
Kirby
shot.
GCN. You might have not heard about it. Okay,
Here comes
okay,
another,
but
another DExus hot take. I'm glad Kirby GCN never released.
what? Nah.
A lot of good
Huh?
things
There
came
you go.
out of the ashes of that, though. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
true. You know what? Actually,
That's
yeah, it's
basically the
fine.
best way to
I'm
put it.
It would have been like I mean, there was a reason why it was cancelled. Probably the allies mechanic didn't really work out. And as we see in Star Allies,
They still
that's
don't know how to do it well.
Yeah, they still don't know how to do it. But that's another conversation.
I would love it if they would perfect that, because it would be great
But
to
I
have
will
good
say,
AI.
Kumasaki is a
Yeah.
very sneaky guy, because in his GDC panel from this year, they show new screenshots for the other prototypes, the like 2D, almost like picture book style game, and the 3D game, but they are like ever so slightly different, and they don't show anything new. And
Do you think that you think that they just have like that one level and that's it?
I think so.
It's possible.
Like the rest is
Probably.
just
How
deleted.
development works.
Probably.
The rest is just deleted, or they never got to do it.
Because if you look at how they created Superstar, they had like one level, and they just tested everything in that level. That's what they were doing, just to see how it worked, how it felt and fit.
There's
So
also
I assume
Nightmare in
they've always
Dreamland,
developed that way. You just have a warm
which
to that.
also has like a beta test level. I don't know if you fellas know what I'm talking about. Like there's like one level that I don't remember where it was found, but it was in the files of Nightmare in Dreamland, or in some sort of beta that is just a small level
Nightmare-
with a bunch of enemies to test like collision.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare in Dreamland has a lot of test rooms, and I think in a trailer or in the back of the box, there's like levels that don't appear in the game, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's actually pretty common for like Nintendo games. Like even Super Mario Brothers 3, if I remember correctly, in the back of the box as like an inaccessible level, which is so interesting to me because like out of all the screenshots you could get into the game, they probably just use promotional screenshots without actually playing the game itself and be like, yep, this is marketable.
Actually, same thing happened in Twilight Princess. In one of the screenshots, you can see the magic meter, and the game doesn't have a magic meter, so kind of crazy. It happens a surprising amount of times. But yeah,
But good question for ya, Scarf. Now that we're like on the topic of canceled games and such, we talked about that you have a lot of deep knowledge about Kirby. So I'm gonna give you like full control over the conversation now. What do you think is like the most obscure piece of Kirby knowledge that you have? This question is not a bother for you.
Obscure. There's just too many random things. The question is, what does no one know? So let's see, niche things here that I can say is the better way to put it. No, most of the interviews are out these days. Everyone's read them. There's a lot of interesting stuff with Sakurai, of course, and then there's a lot of
yeah. There's also like
Kumazaki.
multiple stuff.
I love how
from
you're
the-
skimming through your like backlog of information that could be considered obscure, and it's probably obscure to most of our audience, including some of your hosts.
Well, yeah,
And
you
you
could
just
even-
think that it's like common knowledge.
That's also true as well. Like, you can just go down the line, but there's all the Dreamland stuff, which we got even more about it though with Sakurai doing his whole YouTube channel, which is amazing.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a very
I
good
like
channel.
the whole super,
Yeah.
like
Very
the
fascinating.
Superstar. Like he made sprites for Superstar in the NES before starting development of Superstar. That was so interesting.
Yeah. Like I
Also
had
the fact that,
I
like,
spent
didn't we
a lot
already-
of time digging that up, and then he just has in the video. I'm like, oh great, okay.
Yeah, like didn't we
Yeah.
already know that before his video?
We
Yeah,
knew
some of that
some
was there, it's
stuff,
just
but like
learn
he
more.
just shows
But
them more
we weren't
directly.
shown like actual footage.
Yeah. So
Like-
here's a random one for fun. Kirby's Block Ball has a murder animation for Waddle Dee. For Waddle Doo.
What'll do?
With
Where
the eye.
you can find on the cutting room floor. Yeah, you can find on the cutting room floor his eye pops out when you hit him. It's like, oh, that's too horrifying.
That is horrifying. Like,
They
the
should-
Kirby
they-
Hero
they
is
should have
something that's,
kept
like,
that.
top levels.
You can
They should
see
have
if you
kept that
look
in the entire
at.
series.
I'll say this: you can see it if you look at like the manual for Superstar and some other stuff. Waddle Doo was definitely supposed to be player 2, and then Waddle Dee usurped that for sure. Because a
Let's
lot of
go,
things have
guys.
Waddle
Waddle
Doo
Dee
as
gang.
his player 2. But there's
Yeah, parallel alternate universe where we have Bandana Waddle Doo.
oh my god,
Let's go.
that reminds
In
me.
Kirby 64, Waddle Doo becomes Waddle Dee.
Yeah, like I have art. I draw art sometimes. I want to draw Bandana D as Banana D. That's his weekend job.
Banana D.
Just
should,
selling,
you
just selling banana smoothies. That's it.
I think every Kirby artist has at least done that once, and I
better.
am very excited to
They
see.
better.
I am very excited to see your iteration.
So maybe people don't know Kumazaki sees the light novel versions of the characters as the way he sees them, which is very interesting to learn that.
Yes,
So it's
I
a
love
reason
that.
to read the light novels. And it's also not good for DDD fans because DDD is not great in the light novels.
From what I know, it's like very like much
Unfortunately.
closer to the anime version. Like,
Yeah,
more
like
villains.
he's somewhere in between. Like that's the best way to put King DDD. He's somewhere in between the two, where
I've
DDD is a jerk, but he's not as bad as the anime version.
if you don't mind me asking, what is the latest light novel you have read?
I'm behind on the light novels
Okay.
now, so I haven't read the newest ones. Again, like I said, Dreamy Gear is my favorite, which I'll get on that really quick. Dreamy Gear
Oh,
is
Dreamy
very
Gear is
fun.
yeah, Dreamy Gear is recent.
And that one is Kirby's
so
a pilot, and so is King Dedede, so that's how they compete.
Oh, that's
Aw.
so cool.
What's fun in that one is Meta Knight and DeRoche are so gay in that. They're totally a thing in that,
Yes,
in that
I've
book.
heard.
Whoa. I did not know that. I need to read this like novels
I
ASAP.
do
Oh my
enjoy
I have heard that. It's
the relationships in those, because no one, of course, has confirmed what they actually like. But there's so much like baiting in there. Like Meta Knight gets baited for DeRoche quite a bit. And also King Dedede, how he feels about his femininity is interesting as well, because the first light novel is King Dedede enjoys wearing dresses, but he doesn't like to tell everyone. Because it's the first light novel's so fun, and I covered that again in the podcast, where
This is like
They
so,
get invited
so
to a
interesting
party.
to me
Mhm.
because sorry for interrupting you for
Yeah.
a second, but this is not the only media where like DD's femininity is underlined. I'm gonna bring up the manga
Oh,
again.
the manga.
There is like
Yeah, I know.
in Pubu Hero.
I know exactly
wait,
what you're
sorry.
talking about.
Moretsu Pubu. No, trust me. I'm not gonna bring up the Queen DDD. That's for like for a second later. But like the first example is Magical Girl DDD, which is like shown for like a single panel. But what worries me the most, and Nexus knows what I'm talking about, is one of the 4-panel gag manga books. Which, speaking of which, Scarf, you own like a shit ton of those, and I'm like, wow, those are like some of the most, I think some of the best Kirby manga out there,
oh, yeah.
like unironically. And for Superstar, there's like one of these like 4-panel compilation thingies that includes deity with lipstick, a tight dress, and a whip.
It gets crazy.
There's a
miss.
lot.
I love that kind of humor. It's so dumb. It's the whip. The whip makes it full circle.
Let
Makes
me
it
find
perfect.
the image. What is? Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to find it easily. But I have
I
about
have
200
it.
Kirby manga. I have about 200 Kirby manga. So I have a lot I need to get through.
But you know,
I'm gonna
actually,
steal like all of them.
There's
the
some fun
problem,
ones.
the problem with Kirby manga and Kirby merch and
None of
novel
it's in
stuff is
English.
that- yeah, none of it's in English. But I do think we have some hope in the future, and maybe we can discuss about what they should bring to the West. With the Kirby read-along stories that they've been publishing in like every single language.
So good.
Yeah, they are so good. They are so sweet. If you haven't, they are free on YouTube.
I cried at
I
one of
think.
those.
I have
by the way.
cried so many times at those. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they are so good. They are so sweet. So the art is so beautiful, and it's so like.
It is. The Adeline
calm.
one just makes me fucking cry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so sweet. Yeah.
The one with the
Oh, it's
when
cute.
Kirby becomes a Pikmin and has like a flower in his head.
Oh yeah, that one's
so
Oh
funny.
good.
yeah, and like the flower fucking
Kirby learns
dies.
about them.
Spoilers.
What? Don't say that.
Wow.
For me,
Yeah.
it's just the one where Kirby just goes through a big ass adventure for a single apple, like for a courage fruit, and then he gives it away to like a scared Waddle Dee. That's just so cute.
Yeah.
It's like,
Take Courage is so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a very
can
sweet
you
one.
tell that's the one I cried in?
Yeah, that's an easy one to cry to. That's a very sweet one. It's like, oh, he went through all this. Oh, this Waddle Dee needs it more than me. I'm gonna give it to him. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but like I bring those up
Okay.
because what other things do you think they should or they would release nowadays? Because for example, I don't think they're releasing the Kirby Manga Mania ones. Those are probably a little too dicey.
Those are
I
the
mean,
ones that got.
What do you mean?
You mean
Those are the ones that are
You mean,
translated.
you
Yeah.
mean Fang
Yeah.
Kirby? Are you
Huh?
talking about Fang Kirby? The ones they need to release are the 4 comas for sure. The ones that
Yeah,
have like
those, like,
Suzy
are the
and
most,
Star
like-
Allies.
Yes.
Those
Definitely
are amazing. They need to be
Moretso
official.
Pupuhauer, which is like the most accurate game version, because like there are so many characters
Pupuhauer.
that get like talked about and featured. Also, here's the image of Deity I was talking about earlier. I'm probably gonna censor this for the rest of the server to see, but there's like so many characters, which like kind of bugs me because like why did they go translate what is objectively the worst and least interesting Kirby manga out there?
Dumb Diddy.
Okay.
Oh my god.
To be fair,
Damn, dude.
to be fair, Pikmin 4 does have a very similar comics that they did release in their website for the game's release. So I can see, I don't know if those in particular, but maybe if like they make new ones, they would release them.
I mean,
they need
the
to
only
do those.
official 4-panel release that we've gotten translated were, funnily enough, the promotional Rainbow Curse ones, which is like so.
Oh, those were
interesting to me.
adorable!
But those are fun.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
But,
because
like-
they give personalities to the different bandana WLDs, no?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
they make them dumb.
it's incredible.
Like alien ones with Kirby. Like it's one of my favorite ones because it gets Rocket Kirby. Like we gotta go do this thing. Kirby's like, I'm gonna go Rocket Kirby, and then he just bounce around and hurts himself. And he's like, I had hubris. It's like, oh my god. It's very funny. You've got the Star Allies one where Waddle Dee needs to get across an area, so he needs a bridge, and Kirby's like, oh, I can Star Allies across that bridge. I'm gonna go get a team together. So he gets Magalore, tries to get Suzy, but she's like, I'm out. I'm not doing that. He gets King Dedede and Meta Knight, I think, and they do a practice run, and they just hit the ground because, well, they did a practice run. And then they're like, okay, let's do it for real now. And Bandana D's like, oh, I just built a bridge. I'm good. He's like, you guys took so long. I
That's
built a
wonderful.
bridge. Like, of course you did that.
so could we talk about the anime, maybe, perhaps?
So the anime.
Oh,
So
no.
the anime popped up, what, 2002? 2000?
Yeah, I feel
around
like it's
there.
very interesting that we don't
2003?
talk that much about the anime here when it's like such a big part of Kirby media. And what really bugs me is the fact that it's become like synonymous with the franchise as a whole. When it's really, like why is the Kirby anime become like why is anime DDD the DDD for non-Kirby fans?
Because he's
Why is
funny,
this,
because
like,
he's cool, because
Kirby-
he's
It's
an actual
just easy
character.
to-
Because he's an actual
It's easy
character.
to get into. Because it's
Yeah.
easier and faster to watch an anime than it is to play a game. And
But like
read
Kirby's
characters.
Dream End is
Well,
20 minutes.
nah.
Kirby's Dream End is
So-
shorter than any episode of the anime.
Yeah, but no one has access to that game anymore unless you have Switch Online, I suppose. But there's no characterization in there. That's the thing is characterization is very subtle in the
Right.
Kirby games for the most part, and you have to really get in there
Would
to
you
really
rather
understand
watch-
the characters.
Would
So
you rather
anything
watch a
that-
series or just play a game? Like
It
it's
depends
easier
on what
it's
it is,
easier
honestly.
to watch the series. Well,
Like,
true.
I'd
But
rather.
like the characterization for Kirby characters in the Kirby games, they're very few and far between.
Yeah, that's the
Like
thing.
you have to dig for these. You
Yeah,
have
so
to
the-
dig deep for those.
The
Yeah.
anime is an easier touchstone than anything. That's really it. Now, if we had like a manga came out first and that somehow got really popular, then that would be whatever version would be the one. But then
Probably,
again,
yeah.
look, KFC King
Thank
Dedede
God
is
Manga
amazing.
Mania released
Like Kentucky Fried King Dedede is
KFC?
amazing. He's hilariously stupid,
He's
so
and his extremely gay best friend Escargoon is such a fun character with him.
I fucking
Circle
hate
is
that the
such a
American
good one.
version, like the American version, de-gayanized the anime so much. Like, Chef Kawasaki is gay as fuck in the Japanese version, but they like
Yep.
they straight wash it so hard.
I don't remember right now. I think he's
there's,
just
like,
really
one-
pathetic as well in that one. I just love Meta Knight goes from
Kawasaki
serious
said-
Japanese guy to Antonio Banderas, which I love so much.
That best decision they could ever done.
I don't
Yeah.
remember if I said this in the Pikachu episode about the Kirby movie, but Antonio Banderas is perfect for Meta Knight in a Kirby movie. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Also,
Before
because
he
like
retires, we need him.
he can like dub in 3 languages,
Absolutely.
both Italian, Spanish, and English, like with no
Nice.
problem, because he knows
And
both
then- and
like
then
all
we-
the 3 languages.
And then we can have Danny DeVito also do the Spanish dub.
Why did I?
'Cause
Oh,
he-
right, because Danny DeVito can speak.
That's fine.
Danny DeVito did the Spanish dub for the Lorax.
I want
Yeah.
Danny DeVito
Huh?
for Waddle Doo. That's what I want.
What?
Waddle Doo would be amazing for
Okay.
Danny DeVito.
Interesting question. What's our Dreamcast? For a potential Kirby movie.
Oh my god. Alright, so save Kirby for last. So obviously it's
Yeah.
Meta Knight, Antonio Banderas. You just do that easily.
Galactonite and
Chris
like
Pratt.
Kanye West.
As Kirby.
God, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Chris Pratt
He's
as
so
Kirby is
cool.
the obvious pick at the end of the day, now isn't it?
Okay, but like
I
let's
remember
just
sucking up those
unironically.
Waddle Dees.
Chris Pratt is Link as well. Just keep that going.
Sure.
I want
Okay,
to like
Tom
steal an
Holland as
idea
Bandana Waddle Dee.
from my friend Makel that has been here in the show. Kevin Hart as Marx.
Sure, yeah. Like Mark's got short man syndrome and so does Kevin Hart, so that works out.
Okay,
God.
okay, I wanna go back to DExus saying Bandana D as who was it? Tom Holland?
Tom Holland
can
Holland
Yes,
as Bandana
Tom
Waddle
Holland.
Dee.
Like,
Bandana,
oh
I'll take
jeez,
that.
oh jeez, Kirby, I don't know if I
Mr.
can do
Diddy.
this, jeez. Can Diddy off, please?
Why is Tom Holland Rick and Morty?
Oh my god.
That's what he sounds like. That's what he sounds in
Oh
Spider-Man.
my
He's like,
God.
oh, it's Tony, Mr. Stark. He's always says, Mr. Stark.
Okay, what if,
Oh my
what if,
God, I'm
what
gonna
if?
kill you.
Golem from Amazing Mirror as Dwayne Johnson.
So hard. Or Rocky.
No, that's
Rocky.
that's Blocky. That's Blocky.
It's Rocky.
Yeah, Blocky.
No, just
right,
making
Blocky.
Golem from Amazing Mirror, so the joke isn't that obvious.
Wispy Woods is Ian McKellen, for sure. Why not?
Krakow John Cena.
But you'll never see him
Huh?
coming then. What are you gonna do about that? Like,
Because he's a
is there an
clown.
invisible character for John Cena? Is there an invisible character? I don't think there is. 'cause
Tack.
John Cena would be
Tack,
perfect.
maybe.
Tack.
I guess
Sneaky in.
Tack.
That's
What
crazy.
Yeah,
about
Waddle Doo, Danny
Adeline?
DeVito for sure.
Adeline or Ribbon?
Seth MacFarlane for King DDD.
Why
my
is
God.
that?
Oh
Like,
my.
Hi, is Cargoon.
Oh my god.
Hey
Remind me of
Kirby,
Cameos possessed by dark
remember that?
Could be these days. No, Vin Diesel as King DDD. It's all about family. Family of Waddle Dees.
Oh my
It's family.
god.
Who would be?
All Waddle Dees named, but all Waddle Dees are Vin Diesel instead because they're all about family. Go with that.
Oh my god.
Elf
All
Lord.
Waddle
Who
Dees
would
except
be-
Tom Holland.
Who would be Elf Lord?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is Nightmare. That's who Nicolas Cage is.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
El Felicillo es Pedro Pascal.
Oh my god.
Pedro Pascal. Oh my god. Pedro Pascal
This-
as
this
Blade
ma-
Knight.
Robert Downey Jr. as Grand Mam.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. I
Okay,
would
we
say
need a, okay.
it took me so long
Let's
to
change
realize.
topics, please.
It took me
Knuckle
so
Jack
long
Adam
to
Sandler
realize
as
Grandman.
Grimondo.
Grandman was like a reference to Iron Man from Super Star. That took me so long to notice. I don't know why.
I'm
I-
convinced
I
Iron
assumed so,
Mom
but-
is like Bouncy's mom. That's what I'm convinced that's who she is.
Oh!
Because
That's
I'm
an
pretty sure it's
interesting
just a Bouncy in armor. That's what it looks like to me.
Grandmam.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like, the anime was interesting because
Oh.
it's like, if you actually watch all the episodes, 10% of it's terrible, and then it's a lot of okay, and then you have these incredibly funny or incredibly depressing episodes.
The
I
one
don't
where,
know.
like, Didi,
Yes.
like, Didi faces death. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna die in 5 days. What the fuck? That is
Yeah,
like...
that one's, there's a meteor's gonna hit, he's gonna die, and he makes a freaking playground for Kirby. And it's just him and Kirby at the playground, and he's like, well, we're gonna die soon.
he
it's
runs
like,
out of it is
wow.
what it is.
You got Kirby
I
and his
remember the
dog,
dog
which is so
episode.
sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirby and his dog is early in the show. It's weird. In the first 30 episodes, they want you to cry. They want children to cry for like 4 episodes. Because you have Kirby
Let's
and the dog,
go.
Kirby and Chili, which is
Chili! That made me
so
cry like a
painful.
bitch as a kid. Like, I was like, oh my god, no. Like, from that point on, anytime I would, like, see a Chili and, like, return
Yeah.
to Green Mine,
Oh my
I
God.
would not touch it because I was like, oh my god, that's my best friend.
Yeah, for sure.
You're as
Like,
beautiful
I
as the
cried
day I lost you.
so many times doing the dog episode, making the dog episode for the podcast. I cried so many times doing the Chili episode for the podcast. And then you got the Galbo episode, which is the 30th one, where Kirby has a son for a while. And his son gets murdered in front of him. His son gets killed in front of him. And
I did
Kirby's
not remember
crying.
this.
It's the
Oh,
30th
yeah.
episode. Galbo gets murdered. And Kirby just holds Galbo's dead body and starts crying. And he murders he murders the other guy so hard, it's insane. It's amazing how hard he kills you, because he blows them up from the inside. Like, he just wrecks
Wow.
them that hard. And Kirby, in the anime, wrecks things very hard. In, I think, episode 9 or 10, it's the chef episode. He gets a poupon, which is from what? Yeah, that one. He gets a poupon from Dreamland 3.
Oh,
He throws it
yeah.
around the sun to cook it, and it comes back, and then
I
he
love
eats
that.
the dang thing. Kirby's
we
feats are
brought that
insane
up
in
in the
the
previous
anime.
episode.
Oh, okay.
We brought
Yeah, I
that
haven't
up
seen
in the
that one
last
yet.
episode. That was really funny.
Kirby has crazy
It literally
feats.
got recorded yesterday.
Wow.
Who was?
And a fun thing of doing the anime is I'll watch both versions, the Japanese and the English version, just to see the differences. And sometimes the Japanese version is way darker, or sometimes the English version is way darker. I'm like, I'm just gonna headcanon the one I prefer. Like Chili,
Like, amazing.
Chili straight up dies in the English version. He's dead. In the Japanese version,
what about-
Tiff says he might survive and make it to the south. But in the Japanese version,
What?
Tiff's like, he can't make it. He's not gonna make it. I'm like,
Those
damn, Tiff.
pussies,
geez.
they cannot make my little snowman die.
It's just it's so dark, that one. While as the dog one is unequivocally, yeah, that dog's dead. I'm like, damn, alright.
There's also the psycho scene, like the psycho shower scene with Escargoon and Didi with fucking blood. I'm like, what were
Oh,
they
yeah.
thinking?
There's a lot of random parodies they do. So
What
at
were
some
they
point,
thinking?
they just stopped going like, let's stop. At some point, they just got stuck in their what's the word here? Like, it's not fun anymore if they're just doing it, and you just do Monster of the Week. And it gets not that interesting. But every now and then they have a wild idea, like Meta Knight punching out freaking J.K. Rowling. That was amazing.
That was like peak episode.
That was awesome.
So true.
That episode is so silly, and Kirby's really cute in a little wizard outfit. But that one also has King Dedede being a real dick to him too there. Because Kirby's like, I want to go on the broom, and King Dedede's like, nope, you ain't gonna do in the broom, so you get really sad Kirby. Because he's just a little boy in that one. And then you get, which, there's no way you guys know who this guy is. But there's the episode where Kirby and King Dedede get fat. And then they need a monster
Oh,
to trap them up.
yeah.
The
That's
inflation
based on
episode.
a real person.
The
That's
inflation.
based on an
episode.
actual
Oh!
person.
There was
The
no way.
Gene Simmons
Oh, really?
episode. Not Gene. Is it Gene Simmons? Not Gene Simmons. It's whatever his name is. I don't remember anymore. I will Google it when you guys are talking. But it was a fitness guy who was dressed like that and would just yell at fat people to exercise more. And,
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, and so it's so weird they referenced that guy. It's so wild. And also, Kirby nearly dies quite a few times. Like, episode 13 is the New Year's episode. And that one's fun because they take him to task. They attack Kirby with so much stuff. But the one who almost kills him the most is, of course, Knuckle Joe. Knuckle Joe almost
Yeah.
kills Kirby. in the first time Knuckle Joe shows up, Kirby almost dies 4 times. He just keeps
Yes.
beating this baby almost to death. And then the second time, he has an entire army take on Kirby, and Kirby just beats everything, but he can't beat the last thing because it's just a marathon fight,
There's also the
which is a
funeral
very
one.
fun one.
Like the fake
Oh.
funeral.
Yeah, Kirby died episode is so silly.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Like the last crying episode is episode 50 until the end, where it's the one where that makes everyone hate Takori, that dick bird, because Takori tells Kirby nobody likes him, so Kirby runs away.
I felt like
Poor
Kirby
guy.
killed himself, and I was like,
Already-
whoa.
Oh my god.
I already hated Tokori in general.
Yeah, he's a dick in both. Like, he's not a nice bird in either one. In the Japanese version, he's more of a kid, so like, okay, he's just a brat. But in the American version, he's more of like just an old man bird who just hates everyone. But for some
It's like,
reason,
why
Kirby
did they
likes
do
him
that?
because Kirby likes everyone. Like, if you talk to the voice actor, he gave them 6 different voices, and they chose that one. This thing, when they did the 4Kids version, they had to audition with the Japanese. So,
Oh.
the Japanese really liked Takori's voice, and they really liked King Dedede's voice in the American version. That's why they
Ted
picked
Lewis.
them. So they liked Ted Lewis's voice, they liked the Antonio Banderas voice, they liked those voices, that's why they picked them.
He's not Antonio Banderas, though.
Oh no, I'm just saying, just the voices.
Oh, yeah, right.
the
The voices in 4Kids are the ones that HAL chose. They chose those voices.
I didn't know that. I thought that was like a 4Kids thing. That's
No.
interesting.
I mean,
They
it
sent the
technically-
audition tapes over
I
to
mean,
them.
it technically is because 4Kids had like 5 voice actors that worked in everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
speaking of which, there's a ton of correlation between the Kirby Raiba and Sonic X because they both were like the video
Oh,
games.
right, yep.
The video games shows at the time during the channels, and of course, multiple voice actors share roles between those two. Like I know Mike Pollock is a ton of characters. It's the Major, I think that's the big one. Mike Pollock also being Eggman. in
And also
Sonic.
Dr. Eggman, right?
Yeah, also Dr.
Wait, Eggman is in Kirby?
Yes, the Major.
Yes.
Mike Pollock
voice
does like
of
a
him
lot
is-
of voices.
Oh my god.
Yes, and there's
Oh my
there's
god.
also like the
Funny thing
amazing
is, like,
promos.
even in the dubs, they do
Where, like,
this.
There's like I don't know what it was, like a commercial or like a promo was like Sonic and Kirby fighting and they ain't in a tie.
Oh yeah,
so
it was
funny.
like for a block when they aired both Sonic X and Kirby Ryback catch up. So like in
Yeah. It was
like
the Fox
2
box.
free days. Yeah.
A Fox. Yes.
Just- okay, back in the day, 4Kids was the entry. 4Kids was the company that brought Japanese things over for a while. So that's why you have, because they did, of course, they did Pokemon, they did Sonic X, they did Kirby, they did,
One Piece.
they had freaking One Piece was, oh my god, I don't know why they did that. And then
Yayo,
they did,
yayo, go dreaming,
Dreamin'.
don't give it up. Luffy.
why do you pronounce Nami Name? I don't understand. And they of course did Yu-Gi-Oh! And 4Kids made interesting choices there with a bunch of their censorships. Especially Pokemon's hilarious.
the
with
the
donuts.
Jellyfield donut.
Yeah.
Jelly
These
filled
donuts.
Oh,
Like
don't
being a young
don't get
Asian
me
boy, I'm like, those
don't
are
get me
donuts.
started
Frying pan
on
is
what
a
they
frying
did.
pan.
That's the
Don't
best
get me
joke ever.
started on what they did to Sonic X Season 3, completely murdering probably one of the best stories in the entire Sonic series in general.
Sonic
Like, oh my
X,
God.
jumping away from Kirby, Sonic X has the darkest freaking ending ever. Are you kidding me with that ending? Like,
Yes,
not necessarily
I
want to
watched
spoil,
all of
but
Sonic
that
X, but,
ending
like-
is
No,
insane.
spoil it.
Cosmo. So there's this
Oh,
plan.
Tails
where-
kills his girlfriend.
Yeah, basically.
To save everyone, Kirby kills his girlfriend. That's the end of the show. That is the end. And then the 4Kids version,
Oh.
Tails like, oh, it's okay that I murdered her. It's like, what? They completely
What?
take away the impact of it, where the Japanese version is Tails just crying. He's just crying because he murdered his girlfriend. Whereas the
Yeah.
4Kids version is, she gave me a message that it was okay to kill her, or something like that. It's like, what?
That is fucked up.
What?
Like also like for example, one of
I
the
know
big
like
things,
why didn't
one of the big things is that Shadow like releases, I think, like a planet of like slaves, and one of them sacrifices to save Shadow, and like then you see Shadow and Rouge like do a little grave for her. It's so sweet, but they completely cut that out.
Yeah,
no
it's
reason.
it's
The
really
grave?
weird. You have these randomly dark
Those, yeah.
episodes for kids shows from Japan, like that, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes kid shows have more dark stuff than usual anime does, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it was Richard Simmons, not Gene Simmons, was the exercise guy from the '80s, who was he was a very hyper guy who just trying to convince people to exercise, and that's what that character is. I think it's episode 66 or 67.
It's like the old version of the fucking Yo Mama guy. Cut that.
Yes.
Cut the
No, keep that in.
Oh my god,
that in.
I don't even
Keep
know
that
what
in.
you're going for with that. Oh, he's a Nutty Professor. If your parents have ever made you see Nutty Professor, I am freaking old for saying that. If your parents have ever made you see Nutty
Oh
Professor,
my god.
he's
Oh
in
yes,
there.
I have.
So he's the exercise guy from
I've
Nutty
watched it on
Professor.
my own will.
Oh my god. Aging
Just
myself.
We're going like really
I
off
like-
track.
I like that my touchstone for you
mean?
guys is none of you guys were alive for
No,
Amazing Mirror.
we're
That's my
perfect.
touchstone.
Oh yeah, we're not. What
We were
what was
alive for,
Amazing
like,
Mirror?
Amazing Mirror
2002.
is so it's after what the hell? What was that? It's after obviously
Air Ride.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah, April.
It's
April
right after
24th,
Sakurai leaves.
April 15th, 2024. Next year, guys,
Let's go.
get
It's
ready.
coming out next year.
Yo, the
Let's
NSO
go. So hyped for Amazing
NSO
Mirror.
leak date.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, no,
I need
2024,
the
so
Switch
yes.
to become the Kirby machine. Like every Kirby game needs to be on there.
So
I'm
true.
still disappointed we didn't get a 30th anniversary. Are you kidding me? That was the perfect time.
Bro,
30th
come on,
anniversary
Dream-
was Kirby's year. Oh my god.
it's right. It was right there. Dream buffet. A buffet
Yeah.
of classic
Okay.
Kirby.
I love how we
No,
all
they
got
have to
tricked
make
by
it.
that.
What we got out of Dream Buffet
Thumbnail?
was still peak.
I enjoyed it.
Thumbnail with a cake, just like Dream Collection.
I know, we
No,
talked
it
about
had
this
to.
many
It had
times.
to.
I was so surprised it wasn't.
Echo Chamber podcast.
For real. We have like 5 things we can talk about, and then we just talk about Sonic when we run out of
Okay,
things to say.
but Scarf, actually, you said that you were alive during the Amazing Mirror era. Like, did you see in real time the anime taking over everything, like the promotions and stuff?
Oh yeah.
That's a fun question there, actually, because, like, I saw it, I was watching the Fox Box, because everyone was. Back in the day, all you had was the Fox Box. And that's part of it, too, is everyone didn't have as much choice back in the day, is a good way to put it. So, everyone's watching Saturday morning cartoons, and everyone's watching the Fox Box, and the Fox Box is Sonic X, and the Fox Box is Kirby and Ninja Turtles and Pokemon. So everyone knows Pokemon to an extent. Everyone knows Kirby to an extent. And because this is the thing that people seen the most, that does explain why a lot of people's touchstone for King Dedede is that. And Meta
That's
Knight and so
true.
on and so forth with that. That's a good point on that is, whereas now, you would not get as many people watching anything because there's just so many things that they can watch.
yeah.
Yeah, but like even from like a promotion standpoint, like especially Nightmare in Dreamland was very heavily based on the anime, like the art style and things like that.
Especially in
Like
the
these-
West, which is like
yeah.
super interesting.
Like
The
things
West
like
is
Nightmare.
is-
The Nightmare design is based on the anime. The Kirby, like
Oh, yeah.
every artwork is also based on the anime.
The box art itself like includes
Yeah.
the like Meta Knight Fee was like the most important character from the game,
And, like,
considering his
I
role
mean,
in
he
the anime.
is.
I mean, he technically is.
It's playable.
But like Air Ride is probably the biggest example because most of the music from Air Ride is actually from the anime. Probably mentioned this a couple times before.
Is it the other way?
No,
I don't
no,
know
no.
why I thought it was the
I
other
assume
way
it's not the
around.
other way around.
Like,
No, it's not the
Yeah,
other way
same.
around. Anime first, then Air Ride.
that's
Crazy.
amazing. I always thought it was the game first, then the anime. I'd have to
Yeah.
double check the dates on those. Because, yeah, there's a lot of... This is the one thing about the Japanese version that's better than the English version is there's no game music in the English version. They want full orchestra. They want full original music. And that's good, except for those times when it would be nice to have that nostalgic music for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like
I wonder why
Yeah.
they went with that.
oh my god, in the anime they have like
licensing, maybe? I don't know.
so many like remixes, but like are like 5-second longs because it's a show, so they won't make like 5 minutes. Like I know there's a Meta Knight's ending remix in the anime that's like so good, but they just it's not long enough. It makes me cry every time.
What really like
I know
interests me
that-
about the OST is like the localized version got like a completely version OST, which is like far worse. Again, for kids.
Oh my god.
Like I
The
put
dictator
4Kids
theme in
music
the Japanese
over-
version is so good.
No, I put 4Kids music over Japanese version, and except when they do the Kirby
Oh,
music.
really?
Like when they do actual Kirby music, I put it better because that music really undercuts some scenes for sure when they're doing like the flutes and things like that. Where though there's some big action scenes, which is why the orchestra's so good for it, where they're just doing their music's just not as good for it. They do sad way
Yeah.
better.
Oh.
If there were more sad episodes, Japanese would just keep winning with that one. Whereas the American version on the sad music just does not compare to how Japanese are doing the sad music.
Question to you, Scar, for this thing. The Japanese version and American version, of course, have also different openings. We're just considering the two
you know
openings
which
for
one
the Japanese
wins.
version and the American. What do you think is the best?
Kirby wins every time.
Yeah, let's go!
Okay, I'm
Kirby, that's the name you should know!
Yes.
I'm team right back
Star of
at
the
you.
show.
Kirby is the greatest anime opener of all time in the West, for sure.
That's true too.
Yeah.
I think, Savi, what about the Italian version?
Honestly,
Is it
the Italian version is overrated as fuck. People are like, wow, this is so beautiful just because they're not used
It is so good.
as... Okay, let me quickly put some context. Us Italians... Kirby lo sa, guardi qua. Okay, it's good, but us Italians have like the habit of taking... Or well, we used to, because now we really don't do that often. But with anime, we would create our own theme songs, not based on other things, but like completely original compositions.
Interesting.
And these are like part of our folklore and our culture so much that we host concerts, we host like events singing these intros. This started around the 70s. We had like a lot of different anime like Mazinga, like the big mecha anime. There was a lot of like, you know, talk about these animes because it was like the first time we saw something like this there in Italy, and that was the moment where like we started getting all these new intros. But I think that the true peak was around the mid 90s, late 90s, where we got stuff like One Piece, Detective Conan, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that a really good video is by Pat Mac. I think that's who did it. That explains like the international versions of themes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, at least
Yeah,
for
Kirby,
us
Kirby,
here
Kirby
in
wins.
Spanish, they just translated Kirby. So it's Kirby, él se llama así. Kirby, eso se llama aquí.
Nice. Like,
It's so good.
I know you were singing the second Kirby opener too, which is pretty good. Like all three
Yeah.
Kirby openers are good. I like them all.
I don't really like
the original Clan
first-
one is fun.
Yeah, the
You
original
don't
First one,
like
Kirby
Japanese one.
Parade is
Dun,
not really
dun,
that good.
dun.
That one.
Yeah, but the second opening is so good. I mean, it's for a reason why with the Blu-ray they announced they announced it with the second.
That's a good
opening
point.
because
That's a
it's
good
so
point.
good.
Speaking
And
of
that-
which, how are we
That
feeling about
Blu-ray
like
is
the...
beautiful.
Machu Maru! What about the ending song?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, the ending song.
I don't know.
I hate that song so much, I don't like it.
It's not my favorite, but it does teach you how to draw Kirby. And I learned how to draw King Dedede from that closer, honestly.
Let's go!
Fair enough.
It
But
works.
fellas, speaking of like the HD version, how are we feeling about the anime being gatekept, like the HD being gatekept to Japan only?
I want
It
to
hurts.
end it all.
It's very unfortunate. Luckily, I imported it anyway. It cost $500, but still.
I pirated
yes.
it. Ha 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 ha.
Yes,
Like
it's really
the
expensive.
entire thing was I got it that if no one, because who knows who's buying it, if no one ever put it on the internet, I would have burned it into the internet if I had to.
I think it's already.
Is it?
Of course,
Good.
when
Yeah, in the
don't.
Internet Archive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
So
Yeah, it is somewhere.
so here's the
I have the link.
Internet Archive, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
bro.
Here's a wild thing that I learned because I wanted to put the dub on the HD version. You can't. So
Huh?
they changed the timing on things and they changed the speaking flaps
Yep.
on a bunch of things. So you can't just do
Oh.
it, which was
That's-
unfortunate.
Yeah, the
Because a
dubs.
lot of anime they did do that, but they didn't with the Kirby. They actually
Yeah,
that's the thing. 4Kids actually put in work.
They put a ton of work on Kirby. Like, I think it's heavily edited.
Yep.
It's
I mean,
basically like a
that was
Kirby
the big
abridged.
anime they had for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was like the only Nintendo anime they had, I think.
Yeah, because
What's the
certain
other
anime.
Apart from like
Nintendo
Pokemon, if you consider that
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Well, I don't really consider. I don't consider that Nintendo.
Well,
It's
we
definitely
shouldn't
Nintendo.
consider Kirby either.
That's Game Freak.
Like, yeah,
And
well,
this is
Kirby's
HAL.
HAL.
This
So,
is
like,
HAL.
it's Nintendo owns these
Doesn't-
guys, basically.
Doesn't matter,
Doesn't
Uncle Ben.
Nintendo
It's
own
not Nintendo
Kirby, the
HAL.
character? Like,
It's Warp Star Inc.
Yeah,
So,
Ah.
so fuck you.
because HAL
True.
got they got Kirby. Well, I mean, Nintendo got HAL because HAL went bankrupt and Nintendo saved them. Pokemon was just, well, it's Game Freak. So Game Freak is because I don't remember how it came about. I think Nintendo's just like, these guys are great, let's buy them now. And then Pokemon happens and it's amazing. And I think they have a third of the stake in Pokemon. And things like that. But like Game
Damn.
Freak has tried to break away, but they just never succeed because Pokemon's the only thing that works.
Yeah.
Which is
And the thing
unfortunate.
is,
And even-
it doesn't.
I got
like,
even then,
Tembo, the
Pokemon
badass
barely
Pokemon,
works.
It was okay.
they're
Yeah, also
fucking up
unfortunately.
so badly. Like,
It's
these
because of the
past few
machine.
weeks.
Because they have to produce every year, it's definitely working poorly
Yeah.
on them. And
imagine
unfortunately,
if they took a 5
they-
year break.
okay. Here's what puts things in perspective. Kirby Forgotten Land beat Dreamland in like, what was it, in a couple months?
Yeah.
God of War beat everything Kirby sold in Forgotten Land in like a week. And then
And-
Pokemon beat God of War's numbers in 72 hours.
And
That's
then-
how strong Pokemon
No,
is.
no, and then Zelda Breath of the
Bad
Wild.
game!
No,
What
Te-
is this World Cup to?
But then Tears of the
Pokemon is
Kingdom
that strong.
made more than Pokemon will be in one game and for $70. Now that's impressive.
Yeah, also,
You-
yeah,
what
but
TOTK
Tears of the Kingdom
making
is
Pokemon
amazing.
numbers
Oh,
on the same day
that's
is
another
crazy.
thing.
it's thankfully because Breath of
that's
Wild
the-
did so well. Like,
Yeah,
it really built
it's
the base
the
for that.
It's the sequel to one of the most like praised games of all time.
I mean, you would say the same for Pokemon. Like every single game is like a sequel to a very like greatly acclaimed game. But well, let's not
Eventually.
really get
Oh, that
into
is true.
Pokemon too much since like for like now like getting into like a little serious topic. They've been fucking up real badly. Like real badly. Like I don't know if you fellas seen the news, but they've used like fan-made renders and music without like their permission, and for some weird reason on their website it states that all fan work, like fan art, fan music,
Yeah.
which even includes like the Rule 34 and all of that fan work, that is owned by the Pokemon Company. They can
Pokemon
use
Company
it-
owns the Rule 34. That's amazing.
Let's
Yes,
go!
they
It's like
own that.
Nintendo owning Super Hornio Brothers.
Oh yeah, that's
Super
Yes.
what?
What?
You don't know? So there
I
was
don't
this
know.
movie.
Did
do
you
I,
know?
Do I want to know what that is?
I mean, it's a porn parody of Mario.
It's a porn pair
And the Nintendo
is it
of
only
the
didn't-
Mario
Mario?
movie.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is he?
it's
How
a-
hairy
of the
is
Mario
Mario?
movie.
How hairy?
It's it's a Mario porn
No, no,
parody
okay.
movie
It's Lost Me. It's
Oh dear.
that
it's Lost
Nintendo.
Media.
So Nintendo bought the rights to that movie to
Oh,
not
I
release
think I've
it.
seen this.
Oh, I
One
see,
of the
I see.
screenshots on Digital Gaming.
So yeah.
So
So they
they
have
bought
the
and killed
rights
it,
to
okay.
Super Hornio Brothers to not release it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's also.
Which
oh
is
my
insane
God.
to me.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's Lost Media. I don't think so.
No,
I think
there
it
is,
is.
I,
like, a
I think
copy
you can search
online.
it very easily. I mean, don't look at.
I will not. I will
I'm
not
not.
search it
No,
up.
I'm not. But that is very funny. Pokemon's like, we just own everything. It's like, all right. That's a
Okay,
wow.
but I do want to get into a little discussion. Is that Nintendo with its like different companies like Pokemon, HAL, Monolith Soft. I know, wait, Monolith Soft is bought by Nintendo. But yeah, like Nintendo doesn't really own that many companies, but they just so like besties with everyone that they keep around, and I really like that compared to other companies like Microsoft that just buys everything. I really like that.
And they're
Yeah,
not
but
doing
then Alpha
anything with
Dream
it
stuff
either.
happens.
Like-
I mean, Alpha Dream was because it was not bought by Nintendo. Alpha Dream was their own company, so that's why they
Yeah,
died.
but then they went bankrupt.
Yes, cool
So
issue.
is it really that good?
Shouldn't have made
No, because now we don't.
no, because that's the
Shouldn't have
double.
made
That's the
Bowser's
double-edged
Inside.
sword. That's the double-edged sword with Nintendo. That like
But they don't have the protection.
they don't really have the protection.
Mario
But they also,
Luigi!
I mean, but they also don't have any logs. That means they can be as free as possible.
Yeah.
So I think that's a double edge
but
because it gives the freedom to
What's the point of
developers
having freedom if you?
because they can do whatever they
What's
want.
the point of having freedom if you're still like technically? Because okay, they have freedom to do anything, but are they gonna do anything? Because they can't. Most of their development time is going to go to something that they hope is gonna sell. Therefore, they're just gonna keep doing Nintendo games because that's what has been selling for them.
Part-time UFO is on mobile devices.
Yes. No.
I have I have 4 questions for you guys. First one, why is Savi always wrong? I'm joking.
So true.
No,
So
I'm joking.
true.
Okay. Real question number 2, why is DExus always wrong?
So true!
joking.
I ask
Joking.
myself that every day.
Real
dude.
question
I
this time.
ask
Real
myself.
question. Why is Sonico always right?
That's
So wrong! So wrong! So wrong!
I ask
Okay,
myself every
okay.
day. I don't
Okay,
get
so the
it.
real
How
question
can
is
one
this.
person by base? Yeah,
Oh my
go.
god. Real question is number 4, because I just wanted to do that joke for no good reason. Who hurt you guys in the Kirby Kirby Superstar community? Who hurt you guys?
I have name and surname, but I cannot say for legal reasons.
Okay, noticed in the Kirby community is, of course, there's this sticking point, which is Superstar and Superstar Ultra. And I find everyone is being very weird about it, because they're both good, but it's really weird when people are like, this one's better. It's just, no, Superstar is amazing, and then it got built on and became even more amazing with Ultra. And that's really what it is.
You know, actually, I seen the same thing happening to Return to Dreamland because the remake.
I'm wondering about that,
yeah, because the remake is like so good and so great at so much. People are going back to the original and saying it's like acting like it's bad. Like, dude, Return to Dreamland was so good, and then Return to Dreamland Deluxe was even more gooder, but that doesn't make that Return to Dreamland bad. Same with Superstar and Superstar Ultra. Although it is kind of different because Superstar and Superstar Ultra are quite different in terms of like physics and stuff. But it also, I think it has to go with like nostalgia fading away, and like Kumasaki actually now being like the, how do you say it? Dick, you know, people really like the dick riding Kumasaki. Also, hi Savi. People really like Kumasaki nowadays. And like before, Sakura was like the ghost, you know, the legend. He has to come back. He was always right. Now it's Kumasaki. Kumasaki's the ghost. He always comes back. He's the best. He never misses. You know, so it is really a combination of all those aspects. And probably more.
So this is...
It's just children on the internet.
Yeah, this is the philosophical thing I always feel about it is, it very much is just children on the internet, because you don't have to break anything down to make something better. You never have to, but people
That
do
is
it
true.
anyway.
That's
There
true.
is no reason to talk crap about something to make something better. It's always been that way. Like, even back when you guys weren't even alive, Nintendo versus Sonic. I mean, Nintendo versus Sega, which was basically Sonic. Nintendo versus Sega. There was so much hate going on between those two sides. I'm like, I own both consoles. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm eating good here. But it was always weird when you had those fights, and it's very much, you can go philosophically, just a tribal thing that we do as people.
True.
Yeah, but like the other side of the coin is that competition drives innovation and it drives people to make better stuff.
So,
for
so you're
example-
saying spite is a driver instead of just I want more things?
Yeah, I mean technically, because if it wasn't for Sega, we wouldn't get games like Superstar, like Donkey Kong, like Star Fox. Because of that Sega rivalry, Nintendo stepped up and said, okay, now we're going to push our hardware to the limit, now that we have competition. And
Yep,
same with
Sega does what Nintendo don't, like
Yeah.
go bankrupt. So
And
No.
so true. But then you move a couple generations with the PlayStation and Xbox. Because of that fierce competition, Nintendo has to rethink of what they're doing. Like, we can't just make another console. We need to make something new, something fresh. And that's how we got the Wii and the Wii U, which was a failure. But then we got the Switch, which is like a great success.
yes,
So
like
it is that double edge, like that like competition is very important, but like at the same time we don't really have to put other stuff down.
that's true. Like that's the thing is I don't think we have to put things down. We can still have competition. Because the interesting thing was when Nintendo and Sony were going to make the PlayStation 1, they got deep in there, but then Sony went. They tried to sneak in the deal where they make all the money off the discs. and Nintendo doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
And so Nintendo pulled out at the 11th hour. But Sony was the ones who were mad about it, to the point they said, we're going to make the PlayStation and we're going to kill Nintendo. That was Sony's mission. That was their mission.
They first went to Sega, and like, they went to Sega of America, and Sega of America was like, yo, say less! But they went to us to Sega of Japan, and they like, nah. And that's how the PlayStation was made.
Yeah, so, but then they wanted to kill Nintendo. And they were whipping Nintendo pretty good at points, for sure. And then Xbox comes in.
Yeah.
And what happened was, Nintendo decided we're not going to do the graphics race. Those two will duke that out. We got to be something else. And what's interesting is, it went from PlayStation, we must murder Nintendo, to, okay, we got to deal with Xbox. Nintendo's not the issue anymore. And then the Wii happened. And then PlayStation's president said, we look at Nintendo for innovation. They'll do the next thing, and then we'll copy them. And that's why you got, when the Wii happened, you got them doing the motion controls, and then Xbox was doing the Kinect and all that. So they went from, alright, these guys, we want to kill them, to, okay, they're playing their own game, and we're seeing what we can take from that. Because Nintendo isn't racing the other two.
You can now see the same thing that because the Switch did so well, now more companies are looking into more portable ways on their own. Like, you have the Steam Deck. Like, they all have
Nintendo is
the
winning
Project
the innovation race to this day.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna probably blow up the Switch 2, and then whatever comes after Switch 2 will be something amazing again. It's always they have hubris, and then they learn from their hubris and get good again. That's what it's been.
They get humbled.
Yeah.
I'm scared for the Nintendo Flip. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Nintendo Flip. Every time you want to jump with Mario, you have to flip the Switch.
Oh my god.
Could do like an incredible. Actually, you could make like an incredible platformer like BBBBB, but instead of you tilt the screen.
My god. BBBB.
Yeah,
that's just a mobile game. Isn't that just tilt and tumble?
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
But do it better. Here's what I thought. I really thought we were gonna get a tilt and tumble kind of mini game kind of thing when they did that tilt and tumble game in Forgotten Land. I thought they were gonna do stuff with the motion control. Yeah, the roll and tilt. I thought they were gonna make something out of that. But no, we got Dream Buffet instead.
Yeah, they could have added motion controls to Dream Buffet and make it like Super Monkey Ball or something.
I bet you they did, and they didn't like it. There's no way they didn't try it. HAL is very experimental for sure.
That is true. Dream Buffet could have been that deluxe game.
Dream Buffet,
they were like, actually, it's not. No.
Dream Buffet is actually one of the few games. Actually, all the Kirby games are one of the few games that really use the motion control. Not motion control. Not gyro. What was it? Rumble. HD Rumble.
Yeah, the HD Rumble. Yeah.
Like, I specifically remember when I got Star Allies. I was like so blown away because when you inhale something in Star Allies, you could feel like the enemy trying to escape you.
Yes.
Which is like so weird.
When you walk around, you kind of feel the little rumblies.
You go like boom, boom, and of course in Dream Buffet, when you feel the Kirby roll around in your controller, it's like so cool.
Yeah, it's
again Nintendo. Nintendo winning the innovation race by adding useless stuff, like the AR camera on the Joy-Cons. What are we gonna use that for?
Oh right, they finally used it for Labo, which was interesting.
True, but other than that, it's
Labo was fun, but then it was a very niche thing. That's all it really was. And it was fun for the niche people who enjoyed it. Because like Labo fishing was fun. The Labo mech was fun until you broke the dang thing. Then Labo had where you could make a machine out of the controllers, which was a fun idea. So it was using the rumble feature to move forward and sideways and stuff, which was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, like little RC car.
Yeah. They had some interesting ideas, so it's always appreciated that they're innovating, because the other two guys are like, let's just make teeth look better. Like that's it.
Let's spend 1 month animating a guy taking off his shirt.
Yeah, making
instead
fun
of just fading the screen to black.
Like when it comes to graphical fidelity, that's really cool and all, but it's not that great. Like, I can just take a shirt off for real, and I'm good. I don't need to mimic taking my shirt off in a game. I want to mimic other things.
True. But like then you have again the other side of the coin. Because of this innovation, we don't have power, and then we get stuck with for example, Kirby and the Forgotten Land being 30 FPS. So like at that point it's like really, like we go back to Pokemon being like so broken, and part of that is actually has to be with the Switch, you know.
Like
I
part
mean,
of it
it
is
is
I don't really
hardware.
mind.
No, part of it is
I'm one
hardware,
those
part of
people
it
that don't
is
part of
care
it
about
is-
frames
yeah, yeah.
per second.
Yeah.
That's like.
But, like,
what's the point?
imagine-
What's the difference of having Kirby and the Forgotten Land in 60 FPS?
Because
It would
imagine
look
I
a
don't know
Kirby,
the
smoother, that's
difference.
about it.
imagine a Kirby game that looks like the CGI cutscenes. Like
That would be cool.
Ew! I don't like that grass.
The grass is amazing.
I don't like that grass. I don't like the texture in Kirby's feet. Nuh-uh. I don't like how glossy his eyes are.
Well,
Like it'd be nice, but
a
it's
Kirby
not
game-
necessary thing for it.
a Kirby game with
Yeah.
the graphics of the Return to Dreamland Deluxe CGI cutscenes. They're better. Do you like the grass in there?
I don't remember the deluxe cutscenes.
They look so good. The lighting is so
DDD
beautiful.
issue.
Yeah.
No, DDD looks good. Oh
No,
no.
DDD looks bad.
Club
But okay,
DDD.
Echo Chamber podcast.
So- It's too bad Savi's not here because he really wanted to hear the manga stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So-
fun mangas, and the manga I want to mention that we didn't even get to it besides the 4 is the one that I think should get translated. Well, there's two. There's the Dream one, which is Hero of Poo, which did not get completed, which was really good.
I've heard that that's like the best manga.
I just
At least
bought-
it's for characterization.
Yeah, I just imported those. Those are so good. Now, the reason why they stopped is because the magazine that owned them died. That's what happened there. They went bankrupt. It's a really good one, like,
press F in
because
chat.
Kirby's following the games there. And he's really fun and hilarious. And Chili's his sidekick instead of Waddle Dee in that one.
I remember that.
But the one that needs to get translated that never will because it's just too Japanese is gotta be Fang Kirby, which is Korokoro, whichever one that one is. That's the one that's not gonna, which is too
I've-
bad. Because that's the one with
I-
marks with hands. That's that one.
Oh, that one.
Is that the one where is that the one where Magler is like, "Yo, teacher, may I blow up?
Yes.
May I blow up the school?"
It's that one. There's so much fun
Is-
characterization.
Is
of
that
every
the one
character.
where Meta Knight has a truck and kills Felice with it?
I'm pretty sure. Like that's the one where, like Meta Knight's
Is that-
heavy in
is-
competition with him. But
Wait, actually,
that's the
Scarf.
one where.
Scarf,
That's the one
where
where
did the
Kirby
meta-
fights Marks.
Is that the one where Taranza loves donuts?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
So, Scar, where did the Meta Knight with a car plushie come from? Was that like a manga or like a promotional thing?
I
Or they
think
just
that's just
made
an
it?
idea because
Only,
we didn't even
Did
talk about
someone just say-
merchandise.
only the.
I have to come
No,
back for
oh.
another
Only the-
episode because we didn't even talk
mean,
about the
yes,
rival, the
absolutely.
I mean, that was
Kirby.
more for the Pikachu episode, but yeah, it is that like
But
that whole
Scarf
section
also
is
has
so
a lot of merch.
yeah,
like-
that whole section of merch is so big.
Yeah, we haven't even
We
talked about
could
the merch.
genuinely make. We could genuinely make 10 episodes about merch.
Yeah.
At least I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
I love Kirby
You've
merch.
got the horoscopes, you've got Dreamy Gear, you've got Chef Kirby, of course, with the cafe. You've got Train Poo, which is so cute. You've got Beach Time
Train, my
Kirby,
beloved.
Anytime Kirby. Then there's Demo
there's the
Kirby.
new ones.
There's so
There
much
was, like,
there to
that-
talk about.
There was like that
The
perfume line.
remix line.
Oh, yeah, the perfume
Let's
line.
Yes, the Mystic perfume.
Yeah,
I forgot about the
perfume line.
perfumes. Then you've got the candies and all that. There's so
Isn't
much.
isn't it crazy that like the Mystic perfume line never released at least like fake perfume bottles?
It
That's
was
so
kinda
upsetting.
crazy.
I thought we were.
It is crazy.
I thought they were gonna make like little just water-filled fake perfume bottles at least. But no, it's just some acrylic standees. Like, what's the
Yeah.
point? And they were so
What-
cool too.
What
Think how
were they
fun that would be.
thinking?
Like, before we end,
Like,
I would say the reason why Fang Kirby's been made is because there's some really good hijinks, but it has the best manga story when it comes to fighting of all time. That is Kirby versus Marks. Kirby versus Marks in the manga is amazing. They have this big epic fight. Kirby whips out all of his powers. He goes Ninja Kirby, he goes Parasol, He does a bunch of beam stuff, and the way the fight ends is pretty epic. And I would love to see that officially come out.
That's in the Fang one, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Kirby, I don't know what happens. Like a spirit bomb comes out and Kirby blasts him with it. I don't know how that big ass ball comes up. I forget now.
It just appears.
Like Kirby just grabs the ball and hits him with it, and it's amazing. It's just he just Goku'd him with a spirit bomb.
But I think we're here running a little bit of time. It was very good talking with you, Scarf. Could you do one more little shout out where we can find you here in the internet for all the people to know?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Kirby Dreamcast. You can find the podcast anywhere at Kirby Dreamcast or Kirby Podcast. Oh, random aside, the only Kirby other podcasts are about a church called Kirby Church or something like that. Just random to know that.
Okay, thank you. That's the next
that's
guest.
That's the next guest.
And yeah, so you can just search Kirby's
we're gonna talk
Dreamcast is
about
the
God.
best way to find the podcast.
Yeah.
Or just Kirby Podcast and you'll find it.
So Scarf, how was your stay here in the Fountain of Dreams podcast?
Very wet.
Oh.
So true, so true. There's just water everywhere, man. Hey, if you look to the right, the dream after the one where someone is killing their entire family, there is a dream with like delicious cakes. You should check it out.
No.
So true.
This was a very interesting episode. Thank you again, LostScarf, for joining us. You will see all his socials on screen, as well as them being mentioned in the last segment. And with that being said, I hope you really had a nice stay at the Fountain of Dreams podcast, Scarf.
No.
No.
Yo.
Amazing.
Oh my god. Cool. Yeah, that was fun. We gotta do another one because there's just too
That
much to
was
talk
fun.
about.
Absolutely.
So true.
I really would love to have you back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was even just
Like-
gonna talk about your guys' stuff too. Like the Kirby hype video was so good, and then I like that your Return to Dreamland
The
video
what?
from
The what
Sonico.
video?
Kirby's height from DExus was really good.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Oh, thank you.
And then-
I want to make the sequel so bad.
Nice. And then Return to Dreamland was good from Sonico, and then Savi's Game Boy one was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Aw.
Like I think my favorite video out of everyone from the Discord right now is Mackle's video. Like that one's
Matt Kell is insane. Yes.
Mac-
Like
Yeah, the Everliving one.
Everliving one.
the Alphalon one is too
That was
damn
beautiful.
good. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was so good.
Yes.
Like-
That one had me tearing up,
Yeah,
man.
he makes more things like that. Oh my god, it's over. That's it. Like, that's good stuff.
He will be the Kirby guy.
He's like, oh, I have to kneecap so many people now.
Oh.
And we hope you have some pleasant dreams. See ya.
No.
Okay, and now he's a...
There we go, I guess. Very, very true.